Well, g'day guys. So today we're going to be talking about panning. Welcome to the Secrets to Music Success. My name is Steve Collum, and I'm going to talk to you about my approach on panning. So, I always treat it like you're the audience, like you're going to a concert. Now, are you seeing an orchestra band with 90 players or 120 different players? Are you going to see just a single songwriter with acoustic guitar and a microphone for him to sing to? Obviously it's a vast difference. One is just going to be, there's going to be sound coming from it's going to be so stereo, it's going to be so wide, it's so big, and then your singer-songwriter just going to be one guy in the front or a girl in the one microphone and playing a guitar or piano or whatever it is. So I always treat it like that. Now you could be seeing a band maybe it could be a four-piece band. You got the drummer in the middle, the lead singer in front of him, and then you got maybe the bass player to the left and the guitarist to the right. Maybe it's just a simple band. Now everybody's got to have their spot. So panning is really important, I think, because you can actually start doing the panning without even touching any of your EQs, any of your compressors, any of your effects. Panning is actually a really big thing for finding a space, finding a position for every instrument, every part. And so I'm just going to quickly go through, starting with percussion, and I'm going to go through every instrument and kind of tell you how I treat it. So going back to the big spectrum of how you will listen, or how you view or listen in this case, when we're just talking about MP3s or audio, we're just listening to the song. So basically, starting with the drums, let's just say a kick drum. So kick drum, I usually pan right in the middle, and it's usually got the low frequencies, and that doesn't, basically, I'll say this to start off with. The only instrument I have in the front is the melody, the kick, and the bass. They're the only three that I have. Now, that's in the center. So in the middle or the center. Now you've got your hard right and you've got your hard left. So that's what goes into the center. Now, keep in mind these rules. These are great starting places, but you can go ahead and break them, get creative and do it. But 90% of the time you're going to find these are the cases. This is what is accepted. This is what our ears accept out in the when you're flicking through the radio station, your ears are accepting these things, and they're not like, if it's different, you're going to be like, whoa, that's really different, and it could really grab your ear, or it could really be the opposite. Like if you've panned everything hard right, then all of a sudden you turn the channel or something on the CD or whatever you're listening to, and all of a sudden it's coming out the right side of your car or whatnot. You're going to be like, there's something wrong. So usually it's going to be the case where it stands out, something wrong with this one. So keep in mind. So keep these rules, but they're not 100. You can change them. You've still got that 3 or 4, I'd say 5% of the time you can get creative, but most of the time get creative with the song and the lyrics and the structures and the instruments. Don't get creative with this. So coming back to it, you got the drums. I usually put the kick in the middle, so that's where the kick goes, and then I'll put treat it, as I said, like you're seeing a drummer. You're standing in front of a drummer and he's playing this solo to you. So you've got the snare, and it's just a little bit off the center, like maybe it's let's just say 10 to the left or the right, left drummer, whatever you want to do. So you can go like maybe 10 to the left, and then maybe the tom might be 12 or 15, and then the next tom might be 5, and then the next tom, the floor tom, might be 10 and 12, or 10 and 20 or something. So you're creating these spots for those toms to fit, and the snare fits there. Maybe put the hi-hat a 5 wherever your snare is. Maybe you don't want to go too far away, so sometimes I'll just put it near the snare, or sometimes I'll actually go over the other side and just create a really little different kind of sound depending what the mix is. So sometimes I'll pan up, but just don't put it into center. Just keep that center clarity, keep the clarity, and keep that signal clear for the vocals and for the bass and for the kick. So I'm going to go over that a few times. You'll hear that a few times. But so okay, so you got your drums. We got kick, cymbals. Usually I'll pan the cymbals left and right. Maybe the rides over you know, on the left, or however you want to place the drums. But I'll put them over far out. And so if you've got a cymbal, you know, it could be hard right or it could be hard left. And the reason how I would choose that is if it's a big song, meaning lots of instruments, then I'll go hard left, hard right, make it really big. But if the smaller the song is, the more I come in a little bit more. I'll never go like really mono, but I guess when I come in, the most I'll come in is maybe 60 or 65. So it won't be out like that. It won't be like mono all in the one signal. It'll kind of be like out there. So so that's one way to kind of treat the drums when you're panning. So next instrument is the bass, which we just talked about. The bass, I put in the center, I put it in the middle channel. So that would be 0 or C for center. So it goes right in the middle. And there's some tricks you can do with the bass and the kick to make them really heard. But I'll go through that more in an EQ video. But yeah, so that's basically what you got when you're treating the panning. That's what you got to do with the bass. It just sits right in the middle. So then jumping right back into the melody, into the main singer, or if you have a melody instrument, maybe it's I don't know, xylophone or glockenspiel or bells or something. Marimba, you know, you might want to, if that's the melody, maybe you want to put that in the middle. Or with those kind of keyed instruments, or they're more like based off a piano, I do tend to pan them a little bit. So you've got the lower side maybe to about 30, and then the higher side to about 30. But the more it is, the melody of the song, head more to that middle. So obviously with the singer, you want that dead in the middle, the lead singer dead in the middle. Now, when it comes to doing your backing harmonies and backing vocals, and you want to do stacks of those vocals, meaning you've done layers of them and they're stacking on top of each other, I'll always, not always, but most of the time I'll double the vocals. So I'll double the harmonies, or the backing vocals. So if I do a harmony, let's just say it's a third or a fifth, I'll double it. I'll do another one of it. And so then that will be either, depending how big the song is, it might be panned hard, right and left. And then I'll stack onto that. So I might do doubles of those and triples, and then do another ones with different counter harmony, so you stack them all up, and then they all have that. It's like a wall of sound, So now, so keep in mind too, with panning, you're trying to find a spot for everything. So if there's a part, let's say with your backing vocals, if there's a part that's it's a bit different to the other harmonies, like maybe it's a counter melody, what we're just talking about, something that just goes a little bit different. Maybe you want all the other the stacks to be going, I don't know, at 50% on 50 on each side, and maybe you want those ones because you like them a little bit more, or you want them to stick out a little bit more. Maybe you want to go 40 or something like that, and so they just pop out a little bit more, or go 55. Those are little decisions to make on how you want to do that. And so that's with your vocals. That's all the different stacks with vocals. So now let's go to some guitars. With acoustic guitars, I will pan them left and right. I'll do 2 takes. So keep in mind, when I say a take, it's a separate take. So if you're strumming on one, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Don't in the right hand side go down, 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 because it'll feel, you can hear it. Something will happen, and it will be like things will be moving, especially if it's like down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's just gonna be like, your ears are gonna be it's gonna be going crazy. So you got to make sure that you're doing the same take, and then you just pan it left. You pan one left, one right. Now, the bigger the song is, the more instruments, the more you're going to want to go 100%. The smaller the production, meaning singer-songwriter kind of thing, more you'll kind of go maybe 60, 70%. So electric guitars, I do the same. So if you're doing a big guitar riff, so you do the same on the right hand side, and you just get them as close as you can, and you pan them left and right. That just gives you that really big sound. So now, if you're doing like an intricate kind of part, let's just say you're in the song, you've got like this little line that just comes in the choruses, but you didn't want it to be big and too like a big part, but it's like just ear candy. Then you can get creative and kind of put them in different sides, you know. And I would probably put, if it's something that comes in on the chorus, you could maybe put it 50, let's just say a little guitar line going ding, ding, dee, ding, or something. If it's just in the chorus there, you could put that in the left, and then in the piano, maybe you could do something that's similar to that sound, but it's a different sound. It's a different instrument, totally different. You can put that in the right hand side, then it kind of balances it out a little bit. They don't have to be doing the same thing, but you could have that going while the piano goes dun 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 dun, or something that comes in at the same time, and kind of balances things out a little bit so it doesn't get too heavy. If you want just that one line to come in by itself, move it a little bit more towards the center so it's not just so far out there. So yeah, so and jumping back to percussion and stuff, a couple of tricks that I do with claps. Most of the time when I do claps, I'll lay out some samples, and then I'll also do some of my own claps. You know, and one of the tricks that I'll do like maybe eight different tracks of it, and you just stack them, you just lay them down. The bigger the production, the more they're 100%. Smaller productions, you know, 80, 70, 60, around that. I keep them still a little bit wider because I still want that space, you know. So keeping that in mind. So now let's go to some orchestra. So actually, before we do, let me go to a quartet. So let's just say you've got a string quartet. You've got a cello. You've got which I would head more towards a bassish kind of instrument, so I'd had that more towards the center. I don't treat it like a bass because it's not quite a bass. It's you've got the upright bass, you know, that would be definitely center, but a cello would be heading more towards the center, and then I'd have the violins, you know, so let's just say a cello would be 10, maybe 10 one of the either side, whichever one you pick, and then maybe the second violin would be 20 or 25, and then first chair violin would be, if it's doing more of a melodic thing, it'd be more 10 or something on the other side. And then I do viola, you know, 20, 30 out the other side. So it kind of creates that, kind of creates that space. And I'll do the same with a small brass arrangement. If you got a trombone, saxophone, a couple of trumpets, or, you know, trumpet, French horn. So I'll still spread them out too. So they're all got those kind of sounds. Now, the more of the bassish, if it's more of a bassy instrument, I'll move that more towards the center. Not the center unless it's the bass, but that's where I'll kind of head. So that's my kind of thinking. So if you've got a huge orchestra, like, I don't know, 120 piece or 90 piece, then you're going to have to really spread it out because it's going to be huge, you know. And pull up your favorite conductors, pull up your favorite composers, and find out how do they arrange their orchestra. You know, you've got your group of trumpets, you've got second chair, and you've got first chair trumpets, you've got first chair violins over here, maybe violins, and you know, second chair violins, and you've got your flutes there somewhere too, more on the outside. You've got your trombones, you've got your tubas, you've got your oboes, clarinets. You just find out where they are and give everybody a little bit of a space. Put them somewhere where they're going to be heard without touching any EQs, without turning up the volumes or anything. Find a place where they can get heard, and then it just makes it so much easier. So okay, so that's orchestras. Now pianos. We forgot about pianos. So pianos, a lot of the times if you've got samples out of the pianos, they already come kind of panned a little bit. And usually when I record a piano, and usually in the samples, what they'll do is they record it the same way. You've got, you've got your a microphone on the lower parts or the lower strings of the piano. Then you got a microphone on the higher strings. So it comes in stereo. So imagine you were sitting down at a piano and you're playing here and you play down low. It's over here and you can hear it more in that ear. And then you can play up high, it's over here and you can actually hear it more in the high there. So you can actually, it feels that way. It feels more of a natural thing. It's not just all in one spot or jumping around. So that's how most of the time, as I was saying, the samples kind of come in there already packaged like that. It makes it really easy. So, ukuleles, mandolins, they're the same as acoustic guitars. Banjos, same as acoustic guitars. I treat them kind of the same. If it's more of an acoustic instrument, I'll do that kind of thing. And electrics, they're the main ones that I would, that you plug in, obviously, and that would go hard left, hard and right for those big riffs. But remember, the number one thing is just remember you're trying to create space and you want to create a clarity for each one. And for me, the number one thing is the vocals, which is the melody and the lyrics and the that's the message of the song. Have that in the center, like the main lead vocal in the dead center, and then I put the kick down the bottom because the vocals don't usually get in that way. You got your kick and then you got your bass just a little bit higher than the kick, around that same area. They're kind of like crossing over, and then you got your vocals. Because a lot of the time, and I don't want to get into it, I'll go into it with an EQing video, but a lot of the time with your vocals, you'll do a high pass filter, meaning you don't want that low stuff, that low, or a low cut as they say it too. You'll cut that low stuff and you'll let all the high stuff pass, which is, anywhere from, start playing around from, depending on the microphone, so many different things, anywhere between, I don't know, 180, 190, 250, so around there. You want to play with the sounds that you want to pull out, and that's your personal choice. So hopefully that's helped you guys get started on 95% of how I pan and treat instruments and where I usually pan them. So, and of course, every song's different, and every time is a little bit more creative, and you want to try something a little different. Just know why you're doing something, and know what the effect you're going for, and don't do something just to be creative, because it could distract people from the real message of the song. So awesome. So hopefully that helps. And as a bonus, I want to give you my top 20 themes that will make your songs irresistible to music supervisors, publishers, and ad agencies. So head over to thesecretsofmusicsuccess.com and download that free PDF. All right, until next time, see ya.